Winning mentality. Primary self-awareness and positive self-image. The winning flavor. Teenagers and youth are largely immersed in their academic pursuit, making their academic life either exciting or complicated and distressing. The recipe prescribed in this book produces insights, hope, and motivation to work out and excel in their academic pursuit. The recipe solves academic ambiguities and also offers practical study models that can easily make studies interesting and exciting. Most importantly is the recipe that frees the mind and deletes certain negative files in the brain and the mind while adding more flavors to charge and catalyze the mind, heart, and soul to have more free space for more academic activities. The flavor frees and inspires the mind to do more and receive more knowledge and understanding. The heart becomes receptive to knowledge, instructions, advice, mentorship, correction, love, kindness, empathy, and friendship when it is offered to you. The soul and heart also find happiness and fulfillment in showing others love, empathy, care, and support. The soul desires to contribute something to his friends and family as a means of finding meaning in life, and that is surely a good thing and a great flavor to have in your life mixtape. The winning flavor helps an individual to neutralize, switch off, and extinguish or minimize the effects of negative effects to their lives. The individual is able to forgive those who have hurt him or her and release the anger. The individual is able to make peace with their own past mistakes and rise to be counted as having reformed and done better. The individual is able to make necessary adjustments in their habits and patterns of life, changing their relationships so as to be in friendship circles that aid their objectives and not distract the attainment of their objectives and life goals. The individual is also able to mend relationships that are important to them or are meant to contribute to their well-being. If the other persons involved seem to be struggling to meet their objectives, the individual will make it easier for the other person to settle in and play their roles with the help and support of the individual who has the winning flavor. Winning doesn't get better than this, and this flavor is Promax 20. If you have read this book this far, then you already smell the aroma of this flavor. Able locking out negativities and operating on the fuel of positivity while extinguishing the negative forces that clog the mind, heart, and soul. Primary self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to connect with one's inner self. It is the understanding of one's individual's very intimate thoughts, worth, fears, values, skills, and capabilities. It can also be said to be the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or fail to align with your internal standards. It is a conscious knowledge of one's character and feelings. With a proper self-awareness, it is easier to navigate your life because you are comfortable with whom you are and you have a degree of self-acceptance. Psychologists Shelley Duvall and Robert Wick Lund proposed this definition. Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, align your behavior with your values, and understand correctly how others perceive you. Put simply, those who are highly self-aware can interpret their actions, feelings, and thoughts objectively. It's a rare skill, as many of us spiral into emotion-driven interpretations of our circumstances. The extensive definition of self-awareness culminates in answering one fundamental question: who am I? To answer this simple yet critical question, you have to methodically answer the very question. We have strengths and potentialities which we do not exploit because we are not aware of them, and in the process lose on opportunities that should otherwise have been our best chances at success in school and at home. We have hurt our friends and parents or children, people whom we shouldn't have hurt if only we knew ourselves better, and yet we have judged harshly loved ones who needed our support because we knew nothing about them. We have burnt our fingers not because we put our hand in the fire but because we didn't know that our fingers had petrol on them. Petrol which could attract fire from a distance. We do not even know our values or our fears, and worse even, we do not know our needs, and so we do not get to address them. How about our potential? Isn't it the reason we have burnout most of the time? We are pushing ourselves outside of our potential and thus running on borrowed energy. Most of us are majoring in our minors and minoring in our majors as parents. We focus on what our children cannot do rather than focusing more on what they can do. We exaggerate our children's mistakes but do not celebrate them when they win. Self-awareness helps us to understand the relationship between ourselves and others. It underscores the fact that you can only be happy with others when you are happy with yourself, and you can only be in union with others when you are in union with yourself. A conflict in self always manifests when you are with others, and most often than not, you have little or no control over how the internal conflict manifests itself while with others. You will know where you need to focus on your life to improve the quality of your life, and more importantly, you will have gathered a lot of information about yourself. You will also be better equipped to relate with your parents, your children, your teachers, your friends as you take your personal needs and interests into account. You may also be able to understand other people around you better and give them a befitting response to their actions, words, and emotions compared to how it has been before reading this book. At the end of this study, you will have the power to influence your outcomes, make better decisions, and also understand things from more than one perspective. You should be able to build better relationships and decrease your stress, but most importantly, you will be able to regulate your emotions. It might be a good time to introduce yourself to how much you know about yourself.